1L page 50, 1I even, sorry, and they earn annually $47,424, and they work 38 hours every week. And I want to find out what they earn per hour. Okay, so the question you've got to ask yourself is, over a full year, this is the amount that they earn over a full year. Now, how many weeks are there in a year? There are 52 weeks. You know, there's 52 weeks in a year. Okay, and for every one of those weeks, they work 38 hours. All right. So my first question to you would be to say, well, if this is what they earn annually or for the year, or per year, how much do they earn per week? And how did you work out that $912? Good girl. Divide by this 52. And that ended up being that, did you say? $912. $912. Okay. So they earn that every week. Okay. Now if they earn that every week, what if they earn each hour of that week? Yeah, good. You'd say, well, if we did that process to get it from annually to weekly, then we want it from weekly to per hour, and it's a similar process. It's the 912 divided by, on this occasion, your 38 hours, and that comes to 38. They're getting $24 for every hour that they work. Okay, is that alright? Can I explain that better at all? Okay, so with simple interest, this is where you should be at. If you haven't done everything prior to now, then you're going to have to do some catch-up, because you do have a test next Friday. But simple interest follows a pretty simple formula, which is nice to know. When we calculate simple interest, we use a formula that looks like this. Now, I would like to think that you've seen this formula before. Hands up if you have seen this formula before. None of you. Okay. What is? Thank you, Sam. What does interest mean? How do you ever? What's interest got to do with? What has interest got to do with? Talk to me about interest. It's not the level of interest in your t-shirt or the explanation up here, Chris. It's the level of interest that you might get from a bank. All right, it's got to do with banks. Can anyone give me any idea of what interest has to do with? Have a stab in the dark. I mean, go on, James.
It's probably completely wrong, but
that's all right.
I get interest when I put the money in the bank.
Yep. Yeah, good. When you put your money in the bank, they use your money and give it to somebody else for a while. All right? And while you've got your money in the bank, they say, thank you for lending me your money. I need to give it to Miss Hackett because she needs to buy a new pair of shoes. So, thank you for lending me your money. I'm going to give you some interest on that. So, Jaden might put $100 in his account, and 5 months down the track, he might have $105 in there because they've given him some interest on that. All right? So provided he's not drawing any money out, his money will actually grow a little bit, yeah? And Miss Hackett might grab his $100. He doesn't get his original $100 back, but what he does get is $105 back. Okay? Interest, you put it with a bank, you put some money in a bank, and the bank gives you a little bit more. All right? It grows. So $100 put into the bank will get some interest paid on it, and interest is paid in terms of a percentage. Okay, and in a few months' time, he may be lucky enough to withdraw 105 out, and he's done nothing to contribute to that except he loaned the money some bank. He loaned the bank some money. So does that make sense? How interest works? They give you a little bit of percentage on top of what you give them, and your money grows bigger, which is nice. Okay. How do banks make money? When Miss Hackett borrows that $100, they charge her a higher interest rate. So he might get 105 back, but Miss Hackett might have to pay back 107. So the bank makes itself some money. That's how they make money off you. Those that borrow have a higher interest rate charged on that money borrowed than you that lent them the money in the first place. Okay? Now, we can work out what you end up with once you invest some money by using this formula here. The amount of interest on this occasion, how much interest was paid on this occasion in this example that I gave? How much, Jess? How much interest was paid? $5, alright? He got $5 worth of interest, okay? It was $100 originally. The rate we don't know, the time might have been 5 months, but whatever, when it calculated, he came out and he got $105. Alright, is that okay so far, Jess? Yep. And so, what these things mean, the P, the R and the T, the P is principal, and it's not Miss Rigby Meth. The principal is the original amount of money you invested. So for Jaden's example, he invested $100. Principal is the original amount of money that you put in, alright? The R, what do you reckon R equals? Anyone want to have a stab in the dark? The rate, the percentage rate, yeah, or the interest rate, okay? So the rate might be something that looks like this, 6% per annum meaning every year. What does 6% mean, Beck? What does that look like as a fraction? 6 divided by 100. And so that's where this comes in here. Okay? That's where this comes in here. What do you think the T represents, Helen? The time. How long you leave it in the account. Okay? And you can see all of that is explained on page 54. Importantly, this time is expressed as years. So if Jaden left that in there for 2 years, then T would be 2. Alright? So let's have a look at an example. Let's have a look at example 31, page 55. Calculate the simple interest earned. So you're trying to find this here. You're trying to find SI. You don't know what that is. The simple interest earned, if the principal is $1,000, so the original amount of money, or P, is $1,000. So the way I'd like you to set them out is I'd like you to put in the formula first, and then I'd like you to say where P equals $1,000, R equals, what does R in this example equal? 5. And T equals 3. $1,000, get it right, Mr. Charlton? So what you do now is you're saying it's $1,000 times by 5, 5 being R, times by 3, 3 being T, and we're dividing all of that by 100. Okay? So put $1,000 into this bank account, you're going to get a little bit more. You're going to get some interest. Okay? So it puts $1,000 in, we could do it this way. 10 times 5 is 50, and 50 times 3, those that are punching into their calculators, you would have got something like $150. You can set it out exactly like the book, you can set it out like I'm explaining, you can set it out how you would like to a certain extent, as long as you get the right process and answer. There's a reason why this is really important, okay, which I'll explain to you a little afterwards. So what is this 150 saying? Can you explain to me, Michaela, what this $150 is saying? Yep, so you put $1,000 into the bank. When you went in 3 years' time to the bank to withdraw that $1,000, how much did they give you? Sorry? Did they? You put $1,000 in, and when you went back 3 years later, you got $150 back. What did you get? Do you think that's fair that you put $1,000 in and 3 years later, all you got back was $150? What did you get, Jared? $1,150. So you get your $1,000 back that you put in to start with, plus you get this interest amount. Does that make sense to everybody? Or can I explain that better? Okay. So for red group, that is simple interest explained, and that relates directly to your assignment, and this will be on YouTube this afternoon onwards, so you can look at it any time. Okay? Red group, you go back on with your learning. Green group, I want to hold you. Alright? So is there anything there that you don't understand, green group? The process, what it means, that sort of thing. The reason why I want you to set it out this way, Jared, is because of a question like question 7 on page 57. We're just going to look at using this formula in a question where we're looking for one of the other things. So we're looking at question 7, page 57, whereby you're looking for time. So straight away we write out the formula because we saw the word simple interest, didn't we, in the question? Can you see that you saw the word simple interest in the question? It's written there. And then I go through the process where P equals, R equals, T equals, and on this occasion, SI equals. So, let's go through them. What's the P in this question? Ellen? What's the P? Principal. Good. 4,500. What's the rate, Ellen? 2%. The T? That's what we don't know. That's a question mark. And what's the simple interest, Jess Manners? 120. So if we know all that, let's put it into our formula. What does it look like? Well, it looks like this. 120 equals 4,500 times 2 times T divided by 100, yeah? That's what it looks like. We're okay with that? All we've done is we've replaced what we know with what we don't know, and then we've left that one. Okay? Alright. What do we have to do to solve this? We have to get T on its own, don't we? Okay? The simple thing that we can do is go like this. Okay? And we're left with a statement which looks like this. See what I did there? Is that okay? Jared? Is that alright? Yep. Can we do this next? We could, couldn't we? So that 120 equals 90 times T. We could do that, couldn't we? We're using a process of elimination. We're just getting rid of the odd thing here. Yeah? How do I get rid of 90 on this side? Divide it by 90? Yeah? That would give me 1, wouldn't it? Alright, what I do to one side, I must do to the other. So we go for calculator. 120 divide by 90 gives us, remember, 1.33. And remember when we went back here, T was time expressed as years. Alright? So we would say that it's 1 year. Alright? 1 year, and what's 0.3 of 12 months? Because that's what we're trying to work out, 1.3 of a year, aren't we? 0.3 of 12 months. 0.3 of means the times,